I think my shirt pretty much just sums it up. Where to begin with this one? Okay, I think this is the best way I can sum this up. I usually have a rule with movies that once every year or so, I have one get out of jail free card where I walk out on a movie. Last year it was The Neon Demon. The year before that I didn't. I didn't walk out on a movie. I wanted to though, but I forgot. The year before that it was Endless Love. The year before that it was Die Hard 5. And now this year it's Transformers The Last Night. And that is saying a lot, considering I'm one of those people who actually stayed throughout the runtime of Transformers 4, and I didn't end up hating it as much as everybody else. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not a good movie at all. But at the very least, I had some form of enjoyment throughout watching it. But this one, no, I gave up. I'm sorry. I really did not like this movie, and oh my god. So, I really couldn't comprehend what was going on in this movie. There were bits where it was just... It never takes a moment to pause and take a breath. It's like there's always something going on in this scene, but it's just so uninteresting. It's like, it's either scenes of just, pointless action, exposition that doesn't amount to anything, stupid comedy, everything that you hate about all the other previous Transformers films put into one film. Like, it was too much, even for me. My god, the acting in this is just absolutely terrible. Like, there's not a good performance in this movie. Like, you can tell people are trying, but with how bad the script and the direction is, it's just, everybody's just made to look terrible. And it's like, throughout the beginning of this film, where it starts off with the Paramount logo just throwing shit at you already, into the first exposition backstory scene, it's like, it's so uninteresting. And one of the first big gags they show you is Stanley Tucci as Merlin the Magician, drunk. He's an alcoholic. Okay, not funny. And oh god, the editing in this film is even worse than any of the others, because every scene is a jump cut. It just constantly jump cuts back and forth. Like, it's like no matter what, there's just, hold on, let me give you an example of it. There's just always a moment where, like, I'm just talking at one point, and then the next thing you know, it just cuts over to a different angle. Like, they're just recording at different, with different cameras all at once. But it just has no consistency to it. It's just distracting as all hell. See what I'm talking about? This film does not give a shit. And now I got a crooked angle. Hold on. I'll just correct that. Okay, good enough. Also, the biggest thing that was a massive distraction for me is that the aspect ratio is so inconsistent. Like, I understand, like, you know, when films are filmed with IMAX cameras, it's always going to be radically different. Like, again, let me show you an example.
Like, it always goes into, like, one shot of just, you know, one person, like, already filmed on an IMAX camera thinking, like, we're going to make this worth our time. And just, you know, just going on into battle, like, action scene. And then you see the black bar frame just go up there when someone is talking. And it goes back, and it's not just like, oh, you know, like, this with... it's not like it just films with the black bars for a particular action scene, and then, you know, it goes back to using the IMAX ratio just constantly, and it's so distracting. It's like I was paying more attention to when it was going to do that than what was going on in the actual film. It's just it's like it always just constantly does that, and it's like, okay, I understand you want to go all out with IMAX cameras, but this is not the way to do it. I'm sorry. It's like when I heard them go through a behind the scenes featurette on Facebook, how they were gonna, you know, how 90% of this film is filmed with IMAX cameras. I didn't think it was gonna be like that. Oh my god. Oh boy. And you know, I normally I don't drink, I really don't. But part of me was kind of thinking I should have gotten a beer when I went to the concession stand for a drink, because, oh my god. This was awful. Like, this is the first time I'm actually really pissed off about a Michael Bay movie. And not just a Michael Bay movie, but a Michael Bay Transformers movie. Oh my god. Yeah, don't see this. Avoid this film like that. Like, avoid this film as much as possible. Like, I really just... See, it's one thing to see somebody make a bad movie. It's another thing to see a bad movie that nobody, like no one attached to it cares about it anymore. This was awful. Oh my god.